My gamers were in a rush, but we like it. I said 6 or 7:40. I expect them to start. Instead, it is a 7:37. Game 1 of the best of 5. A qualifying best of 5 for the closed qualifier. So if you win here, you're definitely not done. But then we'll see you again on Saturday at the official broadcast. Chem beat Rogue. Took a map of Björn in the Pigger's Heart. That's sick. Chem is cool, man. I like Chem. Wayne played the best of 7 not too long ago for his SOS. Thank you to Gumi for the prime. Alright guys, here we go. ZVZ, an important one. As the winner qualifies, the loser can try again tomorrow. But if it doesn't go well tomorrow, then your EWC dreams are either hanging on a very, very fine line, or they're already over. It is that brutal. Here we go.
Round 1. Fight!
Top right side of Tokamak, we are looking at the main base of the Italian Stallion. Have we shaken off those ZVZ walls? Representing BASILISK, it is Reynor. Perhaps playing on a backup keyboard or playing on his main keyboard that is not working the way he wants it to work. In the bottom left side, we are looking at the main base of the man who was known for a long time as YoungYakov. These days, he might just go by Yakov, a Russian Zerg, an absolute beast. Welcome Yakov to the best of 5 and good luck. Not too much, a little bit. A little bit of luck. He has gone for a gasless opening by the looks of it. I mean, he is mining gas, but he's not getting Zergling speed. Gonna get an Evo chamber. What exactly is Yakov cooking here? Reynor already going up to 3 bases. His Zergling speed is halfway done. If Bly wins against Shameless, he faces Serral. That would honestly be a big surprise in my eyes. I know Bly is a legend. I know a lot of you guys love him for his crazy builds and all the entertainment he has given us over the years, but I do not expect Bly to beat Shameless in 2025. It is not impossible, but I don't think it's very likely. Yakov already fires up a lair, by the way. This is an interesting build. There was a day and age that Yakov was known for a lot of Nidus attacks, like Queen Ling Nidus, Queen Bane Nidus against Protoss. Maybe in ZVZ he is capable of doing some sort of a Roach Nidus, but I have the feeling that this +1 melee is real. So he is going to get delayed Zergling speed, he's going to get +1 melee, he's going to make it look like it's a 2-base Roach opening, but what it actually is going to be is very quick Mudas with upgraded Zerglings. And if Reynor does not figure this out quickly, this is actually hell to play against. Hero Marine is playing Gerald. I'll take a little look at the bracket after this game, because I know there are so many cool games happening at once. There are so many cool things to talk about. But obviously I don't want to all tap 5 minutes into a ZVZ. Especially not a ZVZ where Yakov is going to open things up with a very quick Spire. 4 minutes in. I'm going to go ahead, guys, and follow Reynor's camera for a while. Now what Reynor will see is, for instance, that the Roach one at first is not moving. Now it is moving. Yakov is even gonna build a single Roach. Oh, this is kind of cool. Guys, this Roach one, Roach speed is fake. That single Roach he's building is fake. But what Yakov is going to do is then he's gonna accidentally reveal that Roach to Reynor. It's like, oh, you saw my Roach. Haha, well, I was trying to hide it, but now you got it. But what he's actually doing, like that is, oh my god, Yakov. Oh, guys, obviously I'm rooting for Reynor. I'm rooting for Reynor, but this is 248 IQ underwater chess gaming by Yakov. It's incredibly smart, and Reynor reacts with 5-6 Roaches immediately that I don't think he really needed. Reynor is going to now apply some pressure to this hatchery, and this is the first time that Reynor is going to see all the links, but the link counterattack is big. These links have +1 melee. Now getting a cancel on the hatch is obviously mega for Reynor. And now those Roaches that Reynor built are going to be very useful. They will be able to keep these +1 Zerglings at bay. A very big cancel, guys. Very, very big cancel. Honestly, I thought it was very clever what Yakov was doing there. In the end, losing your third, though, is very painful as Muda player. Very, very, very painful. Would have been way better for Yakov if he would have just been able to keep the third base alive. By trying to go for that counter-attack, it didn't quite work out because Reynor did have a couple of defensive units. Now, if Reynor didn't have those defensive units and the +1 melee Zerglings killed 20 drones, it is a brilliant play. Now it kind of backfired. And I'm afraid that Yakov is in a lot of trouble for Yakov. Reynor here is slow. Roaches won't be able to get too much done on this side of the map, but Maybe we'll keep the Mutalisk busy for a while. We're looking at a 19 drone advantage on the side of Reynor, who's already firing up Hive as well. Should be very easy for Reynor to get Infestus out in this match. Should be easy to eventually get a Viper out as well. For a split second there, I was like, are the Lynx committing on another cancel? That is not going to be the case, but Yakov has his work cut out for himself, and he knows it. Oh. Mutas will find their first bits of damage here by killing an Overlord. Other than a few slow roaches that we killed. Uh-oh, Yakov will absolutely be kicking himself, guys, for letting Reynor cancel the third. Oh. That one fake roach was incredibly cute. Just in the end it didn't work out because he decided to counter rather than try to keep his own third base alive. And we did cancel roach speed, by the way, guys. As I predicted. Now, Yakov down 6 workers. Obviously being down 6 workers is not that bad. And he is going to go up to 4 bases a little bit quicker than Reynor. The biggest problem is just that the Giga Chat Spore is incredibly good against Mutas. And now you're going to have to worry about Fungals. You're going to have to worry about a lot of Queens with a decent amount of energy. And the biggest problem for the Mutalisk is this little guy. First 2 Vipers on the way. No matter how good your micro is, you're going to lose Mutalisk against Fungal Parasitic Bomb. It's inevitable. Even Serral in his prime will lose at least 2 Mutalisk. Then he will find the right one and split it off like a god. But even Serral's going to lose. So Yakov is probably going to lose a few more. The Mutas do continue to be annoying as we have a couple Zerglings trying to get a cancel on the 4th, but the Queens are here. There's not enough surface area, I think, for these Zerglings. Bad fight for the Lynx. Mutas are still doing their thing in the main base, though. They're definitely being annoying. Continuing to find a little bit of damage. Now diving for a Queen. Here are the Vipers. A Parabomb. Probably not worth it at this point. See, rushing Ultra. Yeah, Ultras are very good. Because what often happens as well is that you have to worry about like a lot of Lings and Banes, and Ling Bane Muta just cannot kill an Ultra for the life of anything. It's kind of like building Ultras against Carriers, right? Where Carriers are just fucking awful against Ultras with Kindness Plating. The same goes for Ling Bane Muta. The most important part though of Reynor's build here is stabilizing against the Mutas. Is having Fungals, is having a Parasitic Bomb, and then making sure we don't lose all the Queens. There's gonna be our first, not 1 but 2 Parasitic Bombs. Yakov, we're gonna split here, mate. We're gonna split. He's having a tough time finding the right Mutalisk. Could have been worse, but still pretty painful. 6 Mutas die. There are a couple Banelings here in the mix, trying to connect with Reynor, his Darklings. Reynor is just going to march the Queens to the other side of the map. Do we still have our Infestus? Yes. We still have Vipers too, apparently. Kind of thought the Vipers died, but we have a few more. I have to admit that this attack by Reynor is looking a little bit chaotic, but Reynor has split off a couple Lings into this 6 o'clock base, and he's gonna ravage everything there is here. Mutas are now diving on top of the Queens in the center of the map, and a couple of the Queens are off creep, so Reynor is going to lose a lot of his anti-air here, but we still have the spellcasters. We've got Infestors. Reynor's got an answer for this Zergling counter, because Ultras simply do not die against Zerglings. Meanwhile, Reynor, his Lynx are killing everything. Yakov has lost 37 drones, has lost the majority of his Mutalisk. And game 1 is gonna go in favor of the Italian Stallion. For me, the biggest moment of this game by far is the moment where Reynor, his Zerglings, got a cancel on the 3rd base of Yakov. And Yakov could have protected that if he would have revealed his Zerglings a little bit earlier and just fought it. Instead, he went for a counter-attack, but that didn't work because Reynor had 5 safety roaches. That is, I think, where YoungYakov lost this game. Otherwise, it would have been a lot closer and would have been a lot more difficult. But by being forced to cancel your own third, such a pivotal moment in the game, it takes so much longer for your Muta count to go up. It takes so much longer for you to get a good economy going. And then Reynor is just flying on the other side of the map. Queens gathering energy, plenty of spores, quick hives, spellcasters on the way. And the Mutalisk that can be so powerful in this matchup then suddenly feels a little bit underwhelming. Why is he so careful with the Mutas? It's just, you can't do much. Against 8 Queens and triple spore per base, there's just not much you can do. The Neospore is not worse against Mutas. Unless you're talking about that it dies quicker, but Spores were always very, very, very good against Mutas. Okay, if you want to say like it does the same amount of damage, but it has slightly less HP, sure, whatever. But Spores are not known to die against Mutas, especially not with 8 queens and a bunch of energy around. Yakov says he is ready for round 2. Reynor says nothing. 1-0 lead for Reynor. Okay, actually guys, right when this game starts, I want to take a tiny look at the bracket. Oh, damn it. Now I revealed it. I shouldn't have done that, but it's okay. So Serral is waiting for the winner of Bly Shameless. The 2 Clad brothers. Once upon a time, there was a team called Clash. And Lambo and Laser were both on it, and we used to call them the Clads. Wow, this is surprising, by the way, guys. Nikorak took out Jumi 2-1. And that means we're going to have a TVT qualifying best of 5 here. Hero Marine is going to play his good buddy Gerald. This is a bit of a turbo banger of a game. Mana taking the 1-0 lead in the Polish Civil War. Goblin took out Spots, so we're going to have a PvP here. And it is Skillis versus Milky Cow at the bottom. After Milky Cow took out Strange 2L. This is a pretty significant result as well. So these are your 7 qualifying matches today. And then I expect Shameless to advance here to play against Serral. As soon as the Reynor series is over, I'll just hop into the next one that's available. Here we go. Round 2. The ZVZ qualifying match of the Open Qualifier. Not a qualifying match for EWC, but a step of getting there.
Round 2. Fight!
Bottom left side of Persephone, we are looking at the main base of the man that's representing Basilisk. A top 8 finish at Dallas. Looked good in the early stages, unfortunately fell short against Solar. It's Reynor. Top left side, we are looking at the main base of a top 5 Zerg in the European scene as well. He may not be Serral or Reynor yet, but he's getting there. This kid has been getting better for years, and it's really cool to see how far along he has come, how he has never given up, how he's still battling. And there is a tiny, tiny chance that he can have one hell of a run in these qualies. This is Yakov. If not today, I absolutely expect him to qualify tomorrow. Today is obviously tough, especially if you seed it into the mini bracket of Serral or Reynor or any of these other great players. But I think tomorrow, if he doesn't win today, he's a sizable favorite to make it through. I missed that interaction, by the way, about the Basilisk and the one that got picked up by the Spore, but that is obviously how it works. If you have 10 Basilisk on top of each other and one of them is affected by Parasitic Bomb, but the Spore kills the one that has the Parasitic Bomb on it, then Parasitic Bomb stays in place where the Basilisk die, and then the other 9 can just fly away. That is how it works with Phoenixes. Unfortunately, my Phoenix never dies, only against Sparrow Bomb, while it takes 12 other Phoenixes with it. But that's how it will work for Mutas as well. Sometimes you can get a tiny bit lucky in that regard. It is a Zergling speed right off the get-go here for both of our Zergies. It seems like we're kind of mirroring each other. Yakov once more drops an early evolution chamber as part of a wall-off. Reynor is active with a couple Zerglings. And gets a good scout off. Goes up to 3 bases in a horizontal manner. Yakov is building a lot of links, guys. Yakov firing up 18 Zerglings way before Zergling speed is done. Did Reynor? No, I don't think he saw anything there. Well, Reynor is at least firing up 10 links himself, so that is good news if you're cheering for Reynor, and that is good news for Reynor overall. Make it 12. So he's got a slightly better economy, but he's basically doing the same thing. He has not built an Evo chamber. He has not invested in +1 melee. We are again driving along. Reynor, first person view of the Italian Stallion. Spots the 3rd base. Sees a couple Zerglings heading his way, but I think Reynor is okay against this. +1 melee won't be done in time for that first interaction. I don't think Yakov can do a whole lot here. The numbers are very similar. He's not going to get a cancel on the 3rd base either, so Reynor playing very safe so far. Proper helmet, Zerg Gaming. Yakov does take a decent fight there at first with Ling against Ling, but honestly overall still incredibly close. Slightly better trade for YoungYakov, but Reynor's had a slightly better economy. So I think Reynor is more than happy with how this has gone so far. There is another qualifier tomorrow. Same time, same place. Today, 8 players make it into the closed qualifier. Tomorrow, 8 players make it into the closed qualifier. Starts at 6 p.m. Central European Summertime. Now, if you're here at 6 p.m. tomorrow, don't expect the game to start. It will probably start around 6:30. We are using the Faceit website, and apparently the admins are a little bit inexperienced with the system. So it takes around 25 to 30 minutes to get the bracket going. Don't we need a match for 5th place in the closed qualifier? Yes, but that is on Sunday. I don't think we have to truly be worried about that right now. But yes, if the top 5 gets something, that is something we'll need. I should be casting that on Sunday. Reynor enjoying an 11 drone advantage, while Yakov is enjoying a +1 melee advantage. Yakov has not teched up, guys. It is still hatchery tech gaming for the Russian Zerg. So he is once more going to be aggressive. This is where Reynor needs to stop droning real quick, because Reynor has gone there. Reynor is taking a guess 7 more drones. Reynor needs units. From here on out, nothing but units. And ideally, I think a spine. I think we need a spine in the natural, a spine in the 3rd. Reynor has picked up on that at this point. Yakov is channeling his inner solar here. Reynor still building units at this point. That is good to see. I think Reynor should be able to hold. Obviously, he has got +1 missile attacks. That is very powerful. He's getting that 2nd spine as well. I feel like Reynor is just very locked in. Reynor is sharp. Reynor continues to scout. Reynor is ready for the little pokes. And Reynor is well aware of what Yakov is cooking. I got a little bit scared about the 7 drones, but right after that he got the perfect scout. And if Reynor does not mess up here in the micro department, he should be fine. Yakov is playing this very aggressive as the Ravages are a little bit exposed. The Zerglings are going to try to make the difference. Reynor is seconds away from having roach speed. That's going to make microing a little bit easier. I think it's just a perfect hold, guys. Honestly, a perfect hold here for Reynor. He's got that spine coming online. He's got reinforcements for days. He's got +1 missile attacks. And don't forget, because Yakov never tacked up, Yakov cannot retreat. His units are slow. Reynor, his units are fast. And this CVZ is starting to turn into a bit of a one-sided affair. And I'm impressed by that. But yes, of course, Reynor is incredibly good. Reynor is a world champion. And he looked good in Dallas. But Yakov is really nothing to scoff at. But so far, what is this? 15 minutes in? It's just been all Reynor. Or 18 minutes in, whatever. Reynor takes the 2-0 lead and is 1 map away from being done until Saturday. Saturday is when the closed qualifiers will start. I'm going to take another look at Liquipedia to see if we have some updates before we hop into Game 3. Mana 2-0. Oh, that's nice for Mana. Can probably do some Serral games, guys, right after this one. See if Serral is in the chat. Yep. Shameless and Bly apparently still battling. Maybe that's one hell of a best of 3. As soon as Reynor is done, I will try to watch Serral. Picking the big boys today. Tomorrow I'll go for the underdogs. Today we'll go for the big boys. But they are my teammates, to be fair. Alright, Reynor ready. Yakov ready. Game 3. Close qualifier does not mean you can't watch. Close qualifier just means that you cannot just sign up and play. It means that you have to qualify to enter. And that is why we're doing the open qualifiers. This one is for anyone in the European region. The close qualifier, you have to earn your spot. It will be broadcasted, but only on the official channel, I think. Unless there are multiple games at once, then maybe there's room for community streaming. But unfortunately, I will not be able to do that. At least not on Saturday. Because Saturday is the TwitchCon day. And I'll be hanging out with my boss, Hans, and Tess. It's gonna be fun.
Round 3. Fight.
Bottom left side, one map away from securing his ticket into that close qualifier and just being a couple series away technically from qualifying for the Esports World Cup 2025. This is Reynor. Why melee +1 instead of carapace? It's a choice. It's cheaper as well, no? Isn't melee cheaper? Top right side of Ultra Love, we are looking at the main base of our Russians. Could probably had some high expectations of this series, but so far there is not a lot that's going his way. It could have been so different in game 1 if he would have kept the third base alive. The second game, it just felt like it didn't quite add up. Reynor, his scouting was too good. It is YoungYakov, aka Yakov. Well, for Reynor going +1 missile attacks makes a lot of sense, because +1 missile attacks indeed does allow roaches to 2-shot links. But I don't think the question was about the missile attacks. The question was on why did Yakov prioritize +1 melee instead of carapace? Because with carapace, the links would survive the 2 hits again, right? Even if +1 is done. Yeah, it's slightly cheaper, so I guess we can hit a sharper timing with +1 melee. Maybe it's all about the wraparound, right? Like we just surround the roaches and deal a lot of damage. I don't know. Some Serral games would be nice, yes. Do you have some behind the scenes knowledge about the Battle Aces situation and reasoning? No, I really don't know anything that you guys don't know. The only difference is that I got 2 or 3 DMs from some of the folks over at Uncapped Games, David Kim being one of them, where they just said, we're sorry about the Niels, thank you so much for showing love to the project, and we're sorry that it didn't work out. That is the only thing that I know more than you guys, and I'm very sad about it, legit. Because that was actually a product I kind of believed in. From the very first time I saw it, I kind of believed in it. I thought it was different enough that it could maybe inspire a modern generation of video gamers to find that excitement over RTS to some degree. So I'm really sad that it didn't work out. I love the sounds of the units. I love the way that the units looked. I like the pacing of that game. So I'm legit sad about it. I don't know more, but I think in the end it's all very simple, right? It's just, let's say Tencent is the primary investor. And Tencent just looked at all the metrics and looked at what they're doing. And they're like, so even if you guys overperform by 3 times of what we are currently looking at, we're still not happy. So we're going to pull the plug. It's probably that simple. Nobody has said that, nobody has confirmed that, but I think that's the only logical explanation. Because the game was not heading towards total disaster. Like, it wasn't picking up in a really big way that the entire world was talking about it, but there was way more positivity around it than some other products. But I think it's just very simple. In the end, they're looking for a game that's, like, maybe Tencent is just looking for the next League of Legends or whatever. And as cool as Battle Aces is, I don't think it was ever gonna reach that kind of like worldwide success. So I guess they just didn't think it was worth it anymore. Proper sad, because I really liked what the folks over at Uncapped Games were building. I hope that one day we'll see a little bit more. Do you have a favorite game that you watched at EVO? Fatal Fury, City of Wolves, hashtag ad. I don't need to have any hashtag ad over here, mate. I'm mostly interested, and the main reason why I went was Street Fighter. I can tell you guys that without saying too much. The main reason I went was Street Fighter. And that is the game that I've learned most about lately. But Fatal Fury honestly looks pretty cool. I watched a couple games with Ronaldo, and that weird Bosnian DJ as well was actually there too. Ronaldo wasn't, but the Bosnian guy was. Fatal Fury, it doesn't look bad. And the sounds of it, like at first I heard a lot of negativity, but then it seems like the fighting game scene is getting a little bit more positive about it. I'm sure that a lot of that has to do with the big announcements and the prize money that's coming up. It's a game that we're looking at, but the main reason why I went was Street Fighter. Street Fighter is just freaking crazy. The Zerglings get a little surround on the Bailing, does pick it off. Sorry, now I was distracted, so I missed a couple of the tiny details. The tiny details that Reynor would give me a hard time over. As Reynor, his roaches have been marching to the other side of the map. YoungYakov is going to try to buy some time. He's got 7 roaches on the way. This is going to be a really difficult hold. I think Yakov will hold eventually, but we have to ask ourselves to cast the question, at what cost? And I'm afraid that he's already going to take pretty devastating damage, as that queen is going to get surrounded and picked off. A few of the drones are dying. And there's a chance that Yakov even ends up losing the hatchery here, and that would honestly just turn this into a complete nightmare of a best of 5. Is it that simple for Reynor today, as Yakov is doing his absolute best to stabilize? He is 10 seconds away from getting his hands on +1 missile attacks. I just don't think it's in time. Well, Reynor's scouting has been 10 out of 10 throughout the series. Yakov saw this one coming a little bit too late. Invested in that Evo chamber, invested in the upgrade. Those are all resources that are not being put into units. If your opponent puts all their money into units, they're gonna have a little bit more. And just like that, not even what felt like 23 minutes of gaming. It is Reynor 3, YoungYakov 0. And that means YoungYakov has to try his luck again tomorrow in open qualifier number 2. And Reynor is done for now and will continue his journey on Saturday. Saturday, the closed qualifier starts.